Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. This video is a continuance of yesterday's video. I talked about the Great Reset. People put in the comments section, you talk about the Great Reset, but you never talk about ways we can resist it. Well, I found a great thread, and I'm going to share it with you. I'll talk about it as we go along the way. But also in the comments section, people said I'm looking at XRP in the wrong way. They're saying that once CBDCs fail, they're going to have to implement RippleNet and XRP to fix the current financial system. Maybe even go back to the gold standard. But, we're at a time where people are still speculating because we're not quite there yet, but you could see what's coming. And I definitely believe the Great Reset can fail as well. So, the global elite is currently pushing ahead with the implementation of the Great Reset. They can only succeed if we bow to their plans. The good news is it's not too late. Here are 23 ways you can resist the Great Reset. Try to fulfill as many points as possible. Number 1, turn off your TV, or even better, sell it. There's hardly anything decent on TV. Mainstream media worldwide reports the same propaganda, resulting in mass anxiety. By the way, it has been known since the 80s that the television can harm mental health. Nowadays, they are shamelessly trying to make us believe that watching TV is good for you when you sit home alone due to unscientific and arbitrary lockdowns. Now, during the pandemic, most people turned to Fox News or CNN. They wanted to see what was going on all throughout the world. But you look beyond the mainstream media news. Look at the TV shows. You don't have to turn off your TV if your eyes are wide open. Think about it. You can watch TV shows and point out their agenda along the way because they like to sneak it into every TV show for the people that are still asleep. Eat lots of pasture meat and feed bugs to the chickens only. Klaus Schwab in the World Economic Forum wants us to eat bugs. Don't get me wrong, a fried locust can be okay, but it's definitely not the future of our diet, even though the media is pushing for it. Instead, we should eat what our forefathers have eaten: meat, fish, shellfish, roots, eggs, vegetables, and fruits. Skip the bugs, feed them to the chickens. There's nothing wrong with going out and eating a steak or a burger. Every once in a while, even a salad's very good. But let's not eat the bugs. So stop eating more than 8 grams of sugar per day. Sugar affects our brain pathways like addictive drugs, and most of us don't realize how much we eat. Human studies confirm the link between added sugar and higher inflammatory markers. So skip the sugar, your health will thank you. Now, that one I'm definitely guilty of because I like to drink a lot of coffee, especially when I'm going to make a video. It makes me more talkative for some reason. But again, it's always good to cut out the sugar. It's not good for anyone. Number 4, consume alternative and objective media and learn how to read and interpret scientific studies. There are many great alternative media sources such as Telegram, Substack newsletters, thematic blogs, critic Twitter accounts, and general news. Also, try to learn how to read scientific studies, including their methodology, which is almost always biased. This will improve your decision-making processes. And you also should definitely educate yourself. If you see one narrative, always look at the other narrative that goes with it. Because it's like watching Fox, and then all of a sudden you switch over to CNN, and you could see how different they are. You got to look beyond that. Educate yourself. Drive a robust car without many electronics. This has several advantages. Such cars usually don't break that quickly. You cannot be tracked, and the government has less control over you. Imagine buying an electric vehicle when facing an energy crisis and blackouts in particular. Quite apart from the fact that the environmental footprint of an electric car is much higher than conventional cars with a combustion engine. I said this in multiple videos along the way. I always said at some point vintage cars are really going to jump in price. People are going to want to break away from the tracking systems inside these newer vehicles. On top of it, it doesn't even feel like you're buying a car anymore. It's like buying a computer when you go to the car dealership. But again, that's one way to fight back. Number 6, reject vaccination and CO2 passports and digital IDs. The German Green Party, currently part of the government, already proposed climate passports before the pandemic. the CO2 credit and social credit score will come. It's only a matter of time. Fortunately, they won't succeed if insufficient people comply. I know many people that took the vaccine only to be able to travel. This degree of gaslighting and blackmailing mustn't happen again. And again, I rejected the vax for so many reasons. I seen how hard they were really pushing it. I thought if they're pushing it this hard, it's not good for you. But we also got to reject digital IDs because everything is like in a step process. First, you get the digital ID, then a CBDC comes, then you get the digital wallet, then later you get the social credit score, and eventually they will try to put the chip in you. Be self sufficient regarding water, food, and electricity. Governments fear nothing more than self sufficient and independent citizens. If you grow and produce everything yourself, the government cannot impose taxes on it. It also makes you less susceptible to blackmail. Even if you own a balcony or a roof terrace in a city, chances are you have enough space to grow pesticide free vegetables and soak up some sun rays. Alternatively, join an allotment association. And again, people should definitely learn how to grow their own food because I believe they're going to use food as a weapon in the future. Same thing with water. I covered that in yesterday's video. Own your land and farm it. As stated in the bullet point above, owning some land is crucial these days. Before growing anything there, I strongly advise improving the soil of your land. Rumble and Odyssey provide many videos about composting and mulching. You also might want to look into the principles of agroforestry and permaculture. Typically, in an area as small as 100 square meters is enough to provide your family, including grandparents, siblings, and cousins, with meat, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. The one thing I was thinking about buying with XRP money in the future was definitely land and get away from any kind of population, live kind of out my own area. But there's other ways to do this, even if you live in a town. Insist your privacy. Look into Linux and Calyx OS. Man is a creature of habit, so I know this step can be difficult, but for some sake of your privacy, this step is quite crucial. Big tech is one of our main enemies, and you don't want Google, Zuckerberg, and CCP, TikTok to know more about yourself than you do. I personally like Ubuntu or Mint Linux as they are beautiful and user friendly. Calyx OS is an Android operating system that puts privacy into your hands. A lot of people have been saying I need to get away from YouTube, go over to Rumble along the way. And I've been kicking that idea around for quite a while now. Also, you try to not search with Google. I personally like Firefox. Most of the time I search on my phone. Insist on your privacy. Number 2, Sirex and Brave. Don't Google. We all Google, and I have to admit that Google offers excellent features. However, Google is a dangerous data miner that also manipulates search algorithms. Sirex is a brilliant alternative, so is Brave, which uses its own search engine. Support your friends instead of your enemy. Pay with cash and avoid bonus programs. Cash is power. Pay with it whenever possible. I have been without a bank account for 1 year because of expressing my opinion online. Other dissidents' assets have been also frozen and blocked. Doing everything digitally makes you the perfect slave. Resist. Also, do not participate in payback programs. They actually use your data to generate money. Nobody gives money away for free. Now, breaking away from the bank is probably the best idea right now, especially with the banks in trouble, and I've been saying that for a while. I only put enough in there to pay bills. Other than that, everything goes into crypto. And it's not only because I just don't trust the banks failing, I also don't like the digital system either so much. You go and you pay something on a Friday, and it takes Monday or Tuesday for that money to disappear from the account. It's very slow as well. Consider homeschooling to avoid kids getting brainwashed. I know that homeschooling is illegal in many countries, and not everybody has the financial freedom to move to a country where homeschooling is possible. But what you can do is to educate your children on things that matter, hands-on skills. 90% of what I learned at school was literally useless. These days, I'm facing real life issues such as how to install an electrical system, how to repair the roof, how to conserve food stuff, and how to avoid paying taxes. The school doesn't teach that. Honestly, if you look at school, by the time you get to high school, you really don't need school anymore because they really don't teach anything that's going to teach you any type of life skills. You should always try to get the best education, and most of the time, a really good education comes from an online school as well. And this way, you can monitor what your kids are being taught. Connect with like minded people. It doesn't matter where you find them, online, at the local church, in your neighborhood, or in sports clubs. Connecting with like minded people is necessary to stay sane and support each other if necessary. A study from 2015 shows that society plays an important role in determining the quality of life of human beings, particularly in cases of loneliness. You know what to do. I like to surround myself with all kinds of people because sometimes I like to hear what other people have to say. I might not agree with them, but it's good to hear their thoughts. It is good to always surround yourself with, like, I come on here and I make videos for you because you understand what I'm talking about. Most of the time, I talk to people outside of crypto, they have no clue what I'm saying. I talk about XRP and they think I'm crazy or something. I talk about the banks failing at some point, and they're like, that's never going to happen. I talk to them about a CBDC, and they think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I tell them, the government's working against them, and they think I'm absolutely crazy. But, it's always good to hear what they have to say. It lets you know how other people think as well along the way, because when somebody's asleep, the stuff that comes out of their mouth is actually funny most of the time because what they say is all government driven and you can read through it. Think twice before sending messages. During the era of the Great Reset and cancel culture, it's common to feel emotionally compromised. Avoid sending messages, emails, or social media posts when in such a state. Instead, type it out, save it as a draft, and step away. If possible, sleep on it. This way, you'll make a wiser decision when you're not clouded by emotions. People tweet out the craziest stuff sometimes. You know, Even when I'm going and looking for stuff to talk about with all of you, there's a lot of things I weed out because some of it is just beyond. I mean, it's crazy. So take responsibility for your own health. You are responsible for your own health, nobody else, and especially not the corrupt who. Whether to munch a handful of Big Macs tonight is your choice or prepare a healthy, homemade paleo dish. It's also your choice whether you are going to watch a Netflix series tonight or go and lift weights instead. It's your choice whether you will lurk on social media tonight or go to bed early to get sufficient sleep. It's your choice to achieve an adequate blood serum level of vitamin D and reduce the number of times you have to visit a doctor. It's always good to stay in good health. That's why I really like my 9 to 5 job because I go and I climb through attics and I run wires through the craziest places, but it keeps me in shape along the way. And also, I try to not eat fast food, especially not Mickey D's. Have more than two children. The ruling class, especially the eugenists, are trying to depopulate the world. They claim that there is overpopulation and that we must bring the global population down by discouraging women from getting children, demonizing the construct of family, population control through vaccines and abortions, etc. However, overpopulation is a myth. Of course, having more than two children is fine if you can afford it. The philanthropist will hate it. Also, teach your kids strategy and don't go easy on them during games. They'll appreciate it when they eventually beat you fair and square, and will remember it as a proud moment. They always try to come after family for some reason as well. That's one of the globalists' biggest ideas. They want to depopulate. This way, it gives them more control. It's harder to control a larger population. Continue expressing your opinion. Don't comply. The louder, the better. I understand that many of you are afraid of losing your jobs for speaking up. I've been there twice, and even though I lost a lot of jobs, money, friends, etc., my life has never been better. Many new doors open after doing so. Be courageous. You should always voice your opinion. I always encourage you to do that in the comments section on my videos. And lately, I've been giving you the thumbs up and I send you the heart. So this way, you know I read your message. I don't answer because I get hit with all those bots. I don't want you to get confused and end up talking to a bot for 20 minutes. But I always like to hear your opinions. A lot of you really, you send me on a different path a lot when I go and I look at videos, what I'm going to talk about. Exercise more and reduce your time on social media instead. Exercise is always good. Even if you go and take a walk once in a while, that's up to you. Buy local products, boycott Nestle, Pepsi Cola, Kraft, etc. Processed food stuff is poison, so boycott multinationals that control the global processed food industry to the highest degree possible. Instead, grow your own food and buy local products, which can also build a stronger sense of community. I always like to shop local, and I love to shop at farm markets because, they put in all that hard work, and I always like to patronize the farms, and the food is absolutely incredible. And I do try to stay away from soda 100%. Practice spirituality of any positive kind. It doesn't matter to me whether you believe in the Bible or simple karma and energy. What matters is that you practice spirituality. Spirituality can help you deal with stress by giving you a sense of peace, purpose, and forgiveness. It often becomes more important in times of emotional stress or illness. That's the other thing they're pushing for, one world religion. Because I read your comments, a lot of you had me read through the book of Revelations in the Bible multiple times. And I'll tell you, everything that I read in there looks like it's playing out today. Invest part of your money in gold, crypto, land, etc. Don't put all your trust in big banks or cryptocurrencies. Personally, I consider metals and land to be safe investments. It's always wise to hedge your bets, especially considering the possibility of a global crisis unlike anything we've seen before. Gold and silver is always good to have on hand. I absolutely love crypto. And I still feel that XRP is the one thing that's definitely going to enrich us. It's going to set us financially free at some point because it's got to be utilized no matter what. But also, when you get that money, you get that life-changing wealth, you got to be very smart on how you spend it. Ditch the mask and smile at people. Mask mandates could come back anytime soon. Not complying and giving a smile to manipulated people is the way to go. Globalists hate that trick. Positive vibes are contagious. That way you can do your part to end the general mass psychosis. I quit the mask early on. I think maybe once or twice I wore it to the store. Then I said, you know what, this is absolutely stupid. Because I never believed the mask worked from day one. So support unbiased scientists and journalists. We need your support, so please follow, subscribe to my Twitter. And definitely check out this guy's Twitter. It's Dr. Simon, Godek. And when I read through this, I said this was something I needed to share with all of you. I hope I summed it up pretty well. So let's continue. 1% control of the world, 4% are sellout puppets, 90% are oblivious, 5% know and are trying to make the 90% aware. The 1% don't want the 5% waking up the 90%, so the 1% uses the 4% to try and shut up the 5%. I thought that was a great tweet because it actually sums up exactly what's really going on out there. Did you know that Washington, D.C. is not part of America? It's a completely independent city-state which is owned by globalist bankers, used for worldwide military power, and funded by American citizens. Washington, D.C. will never fix America's problems. Washington, D.C. is America's problem. And we are at a time where they're trying to crush crypto and innovation in the United States. And I'm going to do another video where I talk about that a little bit. But as long as they're crushing innovation, they're also crushing the retail investor as well. But these are the same people that are supposed to be out there fighting for us all the time. They're not fighting for us. They're fighting for the big banks. We live in an upside-down world. Everything you thought you knew is inverted. Only those with eyes to see beyond the veil of illusion, as above, so below. We live in the world below. And I'm going to sum up this video with this because, we live in a time right now where everything you ever taught to be wrong is now all of a sudden right. Everything seems like it's totally backwards. And most of us see it because we have eyes that are open to it. We can see through everything that's happening. But the one thing that we always got to keep in the back of our minds is we're also crypto investors. The craziest thing about being in crypto is that everybody in crypto knows what the Great Reset is. And most crypto investors or people that talk about crypto are starting to really wake up others around it because I see new channels popping up now that used to be crypto channels. Now they're somehow like anti-World Economic Forum channels, or they start out as a crypto channel and they become a channel that only talks about the Great Reset. Things like that are happening as well. I always love to talk about crypto, though. I can't give up that part of this channel ever because I want to keep everybody holding it as long as they possibly can so they can get rich in the end, because that was always the main goal of this channel. So I hope I summed up this video pretty well for all of you, and I hope I answered some of your questions that you had in the comments section as well. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.